Question 20. f of x equals 4x squared minus 50x plus 126. So the given equation defines function f, and for what value of x does f of x reach its minimum. So all we need to do is we can convert this in the vertex form, and then after conversion we can read from the vertex form the point at which it reaches its minimum. All right, let's see. So 4x equal 4x squared minus 50x plus 126. So the first thing we do is we're going to put parentheses over the first two terms, and then bring out the number 4 out front. Treat number 4 as a factor and bring it out front. So you're going to have 4 times x squared minus 50 over 4 times x. So this is equivalent to these two terms, and then plus 126. All right, now here we want to convert these two terms into x plus or minus something, and then square that, making use of square of difference formula or square of some formula. All right, and then in order to do that, so what we artificially we are going to add 50 over 8 squared, and this addition of this term is artificial, right? So we need to subtract it, so that you add this term, you subtract this term, so they can, in essence, you add the same term minus the same term, they become 0. So it's mathematically legit to do this, right? So we are adding 50 over 8 squared, and then we are subtracting 50 over 8 squared again. And then, so this is plus 126. So these two are equivalent because we're adding and subtracting the same term. And then your question might be, where did this come from, right? Where did this come from? Well, this is the middle term, right, divided by 2. The middle term divided by 2 squared. Right? So 50 over 4, right? This term is like negative 50 over 4 divided by 2. You have negative 50 over 8, and then you square that. So that's 50 over 8 squared. Now, of course, you have a negative 1 square over negative 1 is positive, so the negative sign disappears. That's how we got this 50 over 8, right? So this is just take this number, you divide that by 2, and then you square the whole thing, and this is how you got this term right here. All right. Now from here to here, we want to bring the last term outside of this big parentheses. So to bring this last term outside the big parentheses, right? What we are going to do is we need to multiply this negative 50 over 8 squared times 4. Right? And then when you do that, this is 4 over 1 of the 8s, so you have 2. So this is where this 2 come from. So this line is just rewriting of this line. Right? This line is just rewriting because this 128 doesn't look too good, so I rewrite the whole thing here. So these two are equivalent, and from here to here, we're going to bring this outside the parentheses, and to do this, we're going to multiply this number by 4. After multiplying this number by 4, this is what you have. 50 squared divided by 8, and then you have a 2 over here. This 2 because this is like 4 over 8, which is 2 in the denominator. All right. Now, conveniently, inside the parentheses, after bringing this outside, you have only three terms. And what are these three terms? X squared minus 50 over 4 times x plus 50 over 8 squared. Now, making use of square of difference formula, this is equivalent to x minus 50 over 8 squared. Right? So, I mean, you can do that on the scratch paper. Right? You can just focus on these two, square that using the FOIL method. See if you can come up with exactly these three terms, so you know they're equivalent. All right, and so we know they're equivalent. So x minus 50 over 8 squared. And all right, now this is already the vertex form. Now we need to clean this up. This is the summing of two constants. We need to clean this up. All right, on the next page, so 4x minus 50 over 8 is 25 over 4. 25 over 4 square. And then the summation of these two numbers, you can use a calculator, right, or you can do a fraction. It turns out to be negative 30.25. Now, this is the vertex form already, right? The minimum, because the coefficient here is positive, so you know the quadratic function opens upward, the parabola opens upward. So the vertex will be at its minimum. And the minimum occurs at x equals 25 over 4. And then the minimum value of f is negative 30.25. Right? So the answer to this question is 25 over 4. That is the answer. Now, this is so we do it algebraically, right? Notice that we haven't used any calculator in do this. So we do it by hand, but on the exam you can do this using a calculator, like graphing calculator. So what you need to do is you need to graph this inside the decimals. Is that all right? So this is like call it a y. If you got an f, it probably will work, right? It probably will work. Y equals 4x squared. 4x squared plus what else was that? Minus 50x minus 50x plus 126. All right, on the exam, to save time, this is what I want you to do. You want to grab this, and then this is the minimum point. Now, when you reach the minimum point, you have to like zoom it a little, because if you point it anywhere, it will show up, right? So it's important that you point it at the minimum. Otherwise, if you point a little to the right side, the number will show up. And if you didn't like zoom in, you may press one number and think that this is the you may press a little bit to the side and think that this is the answer. So it's important to zoom in, right? Press the minimum, and that is the answer. See, 6.25, which is equal to 20. What is that? 25 over 4. Right? 25 over 4 is equal to 6.25. And I said the minimum value that you reach is equal to this one, which is negative 30.25. So the calculator verifies our answer. And of course, using decimals is much faster than doing this vertex form method by hand. But I think it's important to know both, right? How to do them both.